Now, the toxic bachelor in Sunday's Fabulous magazine was talking about the dilemma of just who should pick up the bill on those all-important first few dates. He comes to the conclusion... You all right, love?
Yes, I've got to fly.
OK. He comes to the conclusion that splitting the bill after the second date is the best way to a man's heart. Is he right, though? Would you happily pay your own way, or should men always pay?
Well, you see, my thing is, I do think men should pay on the first date, because I think that's important. And I think any man worth his salt would be insulted if you started to get your money out and started to say, could you do... And absolutely, he's asked you out, so why would you then try and pay?
Because some women say they feel obliged.
Obliged why?
In other areas.
At the end of the evening.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about a first date. You don't do that on the first date, do you?
Well, I know. Some of us don't even need the date.
Time to...
That is the date.
I know. You don't have to feed cattle for that. No. I think that times have changed a little bit now, and I know... Personally, I don't mind picking up the tab because I think it depends on income.
Every time.
No, not every time, but turnabout, definitely, because it's expensive to go out and eat out and have a bottle of wine and everything else. And if you're constantly, you know, especially when they're on less than you are, I think that's a bit unfair. I think it's fair to take turnabout.
Do you sort of sort it out before you go? Because this is why I prefer not to go on dates, because they're just so fraught with embarrassment and fumbling and, well, not that sort of fumbling, but, you know, fumbling, I'm like, oh, who's going to pay? Oh, it's going to spoil your dinner if you don't know who's going to pay. Should I get my credit card out? Whatever. Yeah. So do you get it sorted out beforehand? Because if I were going to go, I'd say, right, are you taking me out for dinner or what? Yeah. Are you paying? Great. Yeah. And if not, get it sorted out first, and then you can have a good time.
That's
do you
true,
do
yeah,
that?
I actually do, yeah.
I went out with a vicar's son.
Oh, so
David.
beat him out?
Yes, and I must admit, and he used to take me nice places. Now, he would have been so insulted had I tried to pay for a meal.
Did you ever try?
No. But anyway, he would have been because he was a gentleman, and I agree with you. You know, you decide who's got... If there's no money involved, well, then don't go for the dinner date. But the thing is, if you do, I just think somebody like, you know, David would have just died if I'd have gone for my wife. He would have thought that was so insulting that a woman in the middle of a restaurant would get some money out. What have those days gone?
That's a fairly old-fashioned point of view, I would say. In this day and age of, you know, equal rights, equal pay, allegedly.
Allegedly?
You know, I think it's fine. And I think, as you say, Jane, I think it depends on what the person's earning, you know, and, you know, you can't sort of say, I'd like to be taken to this fabulous restaurant if the person's not earning that kind of money.
No,
you've got to be a little bit sensitive to that. But I do have to say, you know, it is nice to be taken out to dinner and be treated to that. That feels to me more like a date than just going for something to eat with someone.
Well, then do it turnabout. That's how I say, you know.
Take turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to explain that way of it.
I would say take turnabout.
Take turnabout.
Yeah.
You know, then you can pick the restaurant as well.
I must admit, I went out there about a few weeks ago, and I went out with this guy, and I didn't think about it really, because I do like nice wine. And he said, order any wine, whatever you like. So I ordered this wine. I didn't realise how expensive it was. And he didn't drink really. So he said, and then, you know, you can take it home with you. And I finished the whole bottle. I didn't think anything about it.
Well, you should have ordered another one, saying, I'll take this one home.
Minded.
See, I think, I don't know, I'm too wary of dates, and I don't particularly want all that, you know, that mystery. I'm actually considering the idea of hiring a gigolo.
Are you?
Well, no, listen, seriously.
Really?
Don't dismiss it.
I'm ready to listen. I'm gobsmacked, but I'm ready to listen.
There is one, you know, around town who's written a book, and he was on, I think he was on This Morning last week or something, and I was reading an article that he'd wrote, or he'd written, that he'd done an interview for a magazine, and I was quite intrigued. Now, I would never, ever have thought in a million years that there would have been a woman on this earth who would have had to have, yet alone volunteered to pay for the services of a gigolo. And they are more than just, you know, going out for dinner, obviously.
So you can have a bit of
The other.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've completely changed my mind after reading that.
I think that's a brilliant
seriously
idea.
Consider
Fantastic, absolutely. Because they're going to flatter you, aren't they? They're going to make you feel fantastic. They don't care your house.
What? They're lying. They're being paid to say all that, and they're being paid to...
So what?
They don't mean it.
We don't care.
Don't you think there's something slightly tragic about having to pay for somebody to be with you in your company or behind closed doors?
No
commitment.
commitment.
Seedy.
If that's all you want, then why not?
So you don't want a relationship? You just want way and a bit of a dinner?
No, I just want to know what it feels like. I want to remember that kind of experience, but I don't want... No,
you get that doll
not
back
forever, but I just think it might be quite nice.
But there's no commitment.
At least he'll know what he's doing.
He's not going to stay around. You don't have to wash his socks or his knickers.
But what if you really like him?
What if you get attached?
Oh, no, you don't do that.
I won't.
No,
I
you just don't.
I couldn't afford to get attached.
You've got to pay for it.
What is wrong with just going out on an ordinary date, love?
Oh,
with a man who just likes you for you and doesn't have to be paid to be there.
Well, you know, if that were as easy as you say, then that probably would have happened by now, but it hasn't happened. And I can't really see the problem. And I know a lot of people just think that it's morally terrible, it's crass, it's one of the worst things. I don't think it is.
Men do it all the time.
Yeah, they do, but in a different kind of way. I think, a more sleazy kind of way, because they don't actually go out with prostitutes. They just go and have sex for cash. And the gigolo doesn't. The gigolo, all you have to do is take him somewhere nice. So you get to go as well, and he goes with you.
So it's better value for money than a prostitute, then?
I think you can get rid of him.
More bang for your buck, as it were.
And then you go, well, no, you end up paying for the meal, don't you?
I know.
So it's
you
twice
get
as
what you want
much.
at the end of the
Anyway,
day.
as I said, I'm just thinking
You're
about
considering it.
I'm considering it, but I'm absolutely gobsmacked that Sherrie, out of all of us, also thinks it's quite a good idea.
Brilliant idea.